Well, today, Treva, I want to talk with you about sex, casual sex for older women. Is it okay? Thank you so much for joining us today on Second Act TV. So happy to welcome back Treva Brandon Scharf, the author of Done Being Single, there, and the host of the podcast by the same name, Done Being Single with Treva and Robbie. Thanks for being here again, Treva.
Thank you for having me. As usual, love it. Love you.
Well, today, Treva, I want to talk with you about sex.
Talk to me, baby. Talk to me.
Here's the thing. I came across this article and it just stopped me. The title was Casual Sex for Older Women. Is it okay? And then I wasn't surprised that it was written by Joan Price. She's an author. She is well known for her activism when it comes to senior sex. And she's the author of Naked at Our Age, talking out loud about senior sex, which is exactly what I want to do today for a variety of reasons. You know, here we are, we're aging, but we're not losing our sex drive, are we?
Oh, hell no. No, we are not. Just because, you hit a certain age, right? Why should anything change? Okay, so yes, you do slow down. I mean, you hit a certain age where we may be as hot, but maybe not as horny, but I don't know. I mean, we all move a little slower. We all have some issues. We all have a little baggage, right?
Yeah, it's really super interesting. There was a study done, a study survey, Elite Singles put out with 2,500 people that they interviewed. They found that seniors want more sex than millennials. And then went on with a bunch of interesting little stats here, like 6 facts you may want to know about senior sex. The reason I wanted to have this conversation is that we don't talk about it. It's like this icky factor with senior sex. No, it's not. We're going to normalize this, and because it's tied to happiness, the happiness that it can absolutely bring into the aging process. Part of the study, and that relates back to the article that I found, the casual sex for older women. They found that seniors are really into casual sex. As a matter of fact, it was like 79% of people, and this is now men and women. Yeah, they're all good with it.
Yeah, I would again assume that you hit a certain age, mm-hmm. and the things that were once important to you, like formal relationships, marriage, children, family, mm-hmm. are no longer. You did it, and now you can kind of let your hair down, and now it's kind of on your terms, mm-hmm. And that's the beauty of being this age, is that there really are no rules. You can make your own rules.
Absolutely. And that was another part of this, is that women particularly enjoy sex a lot more after 50. Yeah. Than they ever have. And that's not just me and you saying that. That's been studied, and there's all kinds of statistics on that. Especially in surveys when it's anonymous, it's still there's this taboo about talking about it, and that's why I think it's important, very important, to talk about. And I was especially moved by the question that this reader had to Joan: is casual sex a thing for our age group? She writes that I'm 70, lost my husband 2 years ago, not ready for a dating relationship, but I'm lonely and I want sex. And I'm wondering how many of our viewers, how many people watching this have feel that can identify with this.
I would say a lot. I think, based on your viewers and the comments I've read, and they're so impassioned, and I love your audience for that reason. And they're so opinionated. I would, again, I think that people love a warm body, and there's nothing wrong, mm-hmm. with that. And you don't have to get married, and you don't have to move in and living apart together. Be unapologetic about it. Why do you have to answer to anybody? I do feel, however, with that said, if know your needs, know what you want, know in your mind going in that this just may be a strings without strings. What is it called?
Oh, the no strings attached, no NSA relationships. Oh, yeah, another acronym.
Yes. Okay, so NSA, okay, or FWB,
FWB,
friends,
friends with
right.
benefits.
Say it. Be upfront about it. To me, that's really, it's appealing, it's compelling, it's hot, it's sexy to say, this is who I am. This is this is only what I want. Are you okay with that? I mean, how can you fault somebody for leading with their truth, which, as you know, I'm a big fan of, and getting what you want. And again, you don't have to do it the old fashioned way. Oh, as I was saying, if you know going in, that is what you want, great. You're more power to you. High five. However, if it, in your heart, you know that you want something a little more serious, right? You want something a little deeper. You want something a little more meaningful. You want something a little bit more consistent or permanent. Say that too, because the casual may not be for you. The last thing I would want is for anybody to be misled or their feelings to be hurt, disappointed, or devastated.
Yeah. What surprised me, and again, Joan Price, she is an expert. She's probably the leading expert in these sorts of conversations. And she just said this is so common that women don't, they want a no strings attached thing. And then like this woman here who wrote to her, she goes, how do I get sex back in my life? And she said exactly what you just said, about the friends with benefits and then the no attachment, but how do you go about finding that? And she said that, it's easier than you think.
I think it is.
I
think it's easier than you think. And I think it's as easy as just saying it, just putting it out there and being honest. What's the worst that can happen? Maybe you guys aren't on the same page. But that's also good to know, right? Because the worst, the true compatibility to me is chemistry, attraction, common interests, common bonds, all that stuff, right? But the thing that to me is the ultimate compatibility is having a shared vision of the future, going in the same direction. Okay, we know this is going to be casual, or no, we know that we're working towards something more. Okay, you can't go wrong just by putting it out there.
I'm going to be so interested in the comments on this, because this particular topic there's two issues here, or potential issues. One is the morality of it, which is one reason that we don't talk about it. And I don't, I'm not going to judge anybody for what they think. You have every right to feel the way that you do. But the marriage and sex, everything that we grew up with, trying to shed that now is difficult and is causing stress, especially for a lot of women who do want that physical touch. And I know there's a lot of men out there who will just disagree with me. Oh my God, women, my wife, blah, 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 blah. And I've said this before in other segments. You might be surprised what your wife or your girlfriend or whatever actually wants. She just maybe doesn't want it with you because of a lot of stuff that's happened. There are so many very, very, very touchy things that go with this, right?
Yes, of course. But that again is communication. You got to sort of leap and the net shall appear, right? You got to just take a deep breath. And what's the worst that can happen? You'll get your point across, maybe your needs met, even you'll get met halfway. It's compromise, it's collaboration. We are living in such a different time. And yes, going back to the guilt and the, what we were taught growing up about being, easy, or I don't know, loose. It's so much about, all you hear is about body positivity and sex positivity, and great. That's so great. Because yes, you can call your own shots and it's not shameful anymore. It's just not. You can be whoever you want to be more than any other time in at least in our lifetimes, right? Yeah. So it's it's a beautiful thing. So I would just say, ladies, if you're watching and you want physical touch, some intimacy, a warm body, just a casual thing, occasional hookup. Yes, it's all yours and more. Call this number now and we will.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing that goes with this, and Joan brought this up too, is can women do that? And you and I have, we talked about this. We did a whole segment on friends with benefits, and I'll link to that as well. But can women have sex without emotions? And the reader or the writer who wrote in, that was a big question, of course. Can I do one, am I being sexist because I just want to hop in bed then have him leave? I thought that was really cute. She incidentally is in her 70s. She's early 70s, the writer. That was a big issue for her, is can we do this without emotion? So I don't know. That would be difficult. And I think that goes to your point, knowing what you want. You really, can you do it? Sure. Can you do it? That's another question.
Well, I'm a big fan of having no expectations. Okay. So I'm all for aspirations, right? You can have goals, you can have, desires and dreams, hopes too. But to go into something with some sort of expectations that this is going to, well, if I hang in there long enough, or the sex is really good, or who knows, I secretly want it to go somewhere and I'm hoping that it will happen like that. That's having expectations that will probably leave you kind of disappointed again. So better that you just lay it out all on the table and say it. And if you are not well received, then you're talking to the wrong person. Then that person is not vibing with you. They're not in alignment with you, but you'll only know if you put it out there.
Yeah, exactly. And again, one of the findings here, one of the 6 facts about senior sex is that seniors, that we still believe in love, even though everything that we've gone through, we probably have more hurts than the millennials, but there's still this romantic view of love. And they applied this to both men and women. So there is that belief that love at first sight, which we've discussed that too, but that it's always around the corner and then it's always positive. And I think that's a terrific finding.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I mean, there are benefits to being, senior. It's crazy to say that word. I just can't. There are benefits to being of a certain age, midlife, over 50. And we've laid out a bunch of them. But the one I keep returning back to is that we knew love and romance and courtship, before technology. We knew we knew love before apps.
Right.
And aren't you happy about that? Aren't you? I am. I love that I knew dating before apps, because I know how to do it. I know, and I'm a real believer in me, I'm old fashioned all the way.
Well, we can take this conversation to so many, we can talk about this forever. The main point I think that I really want to get across with segments like this is that it is normal to talk about it. We need to talk about it. So it's more, there's more acceptance around this, but also if you're struggling with this, if you're wanting this, you are normal. Apparently, this is a huge thing, not just for women, but for just people as they age. Casual sex, there'll be opinions on this, and that's absolutely fine. Treva, how would you end this segment? What would you
I would say you're normal and you're not alone. Okay. And a little warmth and a little affection and a little touch is so nice. It's so nice. And you don't have to, you just get it. Just go get it any way you can. Any way you can get it in a way, right? Say it. Speak up.
Yeah, you're normal for wanting it, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise. And especially the younger people, like, ooh, my parents or my grandparents. Yes, they are. We want sex.
Yes, we want sex. when you want sex.
Treva, thank you so much. Again, I will link to all your information as usual. If you want to talk more about sex with Treva, give her a call.
Yes,
you probably do coaching on that as well.
Oh my God, sex with Treva.
Sex with Treva.
Don't tell Robbie.
Oh, that's funny. Your book, Done Being Single, pick that up. Talk about some other secrets that she divulges. There is, you're probably one of the most vulnerable people I know, which is why I love you. And I can't wait to have you back again next time on Second Act TV.
Thank you.